I have my flatbed taken apart, and I had a couple people asking me how I designed this, or if I had design schematics or drawings or anything, and I don't have any of that because I sort of just designed it on the fly. But I thought I would just give a quick overview of sort of how it's built. It's really simple. If you're planning on tackling a flatbed, it's honestly really very simple design. At least mine is. I use these stock mounting locations to start with, and all I did was basically took a 2x2 bar here and ran it all the way across to where these stock mounting points are, and then I drilled through the bar and I sleeved the hole and used a bolt that was the same thread and pitch as the stock bolt, and I just bolted these bars all the way across. I did that here, and I also did that, I couldn't quite take the whole thing apart, but I also did that under, let's see if I get a shot here. So this bar also goes all the way across at the mounting point towards the cab. If you have a full size frame and you haven't done a bob, you're going to have a third mounting point back here, but you could do the same thing, just run a bar all the way across. I bobbed 14 inches off the rear of my frame, so I only have 4 mounts for the flatbed. But the main thing is just to make sure that these bars, figure out how wide you want your flatbed to be and the dimensions, if you're going to have it angled in or if you're going to have it in a straight line. Figure out how wide it is. Just make sure you make these bars at least as long as you want it, if not longer. You can always cut them a little shorter. So I put those 2 bars in, made sure they're parallel, squared them up, and bolted them down. And then I just attached them together with this 2-inch angle iron. So essentially I had a sort of a big square, if you can imagine here, with the arms coming out past the edge of the square. And from there, it was real simple because now I had a platform and I could sort of put these bars where I wanted them and just sit them on top of that platform and figure out the shape of the flatbed. So this is my second flatbed. I actually modified this twice. Originally I had these bars kind of going at an angle all the way back, but I decided to widen them out and then angle the rear. But this top piece here is just one continuous piece. Comes all the way around and along the cab, and that's the basic shape of the flatbed. And I just kind of made that and sat it on top of these bars, tacked it in place. And then once I had that, it was just sort of attaching everything together. I ran these 2x2 squares to the back bar, and then under here I took another, let's see if you can see here, I took another angle iron here and ran it to the front bar, and that just sort of attached this square to the bed, and the bed is sitting on top of these bars. So it sits right on top. Since I planned on using 2x whatever lumber, I knew that 2-inch would be perfect for the lumber to sit down in tight. So I mean, that's really all there is to it. Everything, just I use self-tapping screws to put the lumber down. They screw right through this angle iron. Originally I had it sitting directly on the frame with just like a little polyurethane washer, but that wasn't enough clearance for my tires. I ended up needing to get it moved up, so I bought these universal 2-inch body lift spacers probably off eBay or something like that. Lifted it up a couple inches. I also needed to lift it up when I installed my shock relocation kit, so I needed to be up above that. I notched those a little bit for clearance. Once that's all done, I mean, I just sort of welded everything together. It was real simple. I built these panels here. These are just bolted on. They're 3/16 plate. I pulled one off just to show. It's real simple. It's just a plate, and I sort of just bent it up, scored the backside and bent it up to the shape that I needed. And then I bought these little tabs that come pre-cut. I think I bought them on, Barnes 4-wheel drive maybe, or possibly even eBay. I'm not sure where I bought these, but I just welded those to the bottom of the frame where I needed them, and then I bolt these panels onto that. And I did that just simply because I wasn't sure if I damaged the panel or something, I wanted to be able to remove it. Also wanted to be able to get inside here. It's more important for these front ones, especially if I need to work on anything to the fuel tank. Speaking of the fuel filler hose, I used the stock bracket and everything. It's still holding everything in place. And all I did was I took another one of those little tabs, excuse me, I built a little edge here off this stock body mount and bolted the whole stock assembly to the tab. I mean, it's not super tight, but it's fine. It's held now for years. There's not a lot of tension on it, but this is the stock mounting thing that attaches to the stock bed. And I just use that, reuse that. Real simple. Trying to think of anything else that's important. I mean, that was really all there was to it. As far as the wiring goes, I wired everything back into the stock lights as I showed before. I haven't shortened any of the stock wiring yet. It's still full length. I just sort of have it tied up under there. One day I'll get around to shortening it, but like I said, it's a real simple thing. Once you build this inside square, once you sort of get your platform that you're going to build off of, then you can sort of just put metal down and put it in place and kind of see how you want things. And the way I did it with the actual frame sitting on top of this makes that real easy, because you can sort of just slide things around and get it where you want it. Once I found exactly how big I wanted everything, I just angle cut these ends and capped them off, and they just attach under there, and those are hidden by the plates once you put them back in place. So I have this one off on this side, but the plates just sort of hide the ends of the flatbed and you can't even really see them. So it looks pretty clean with everything put together. I hope that sort of helps with anyone trying to think about doing something like this. It's like I said, it's really easy. I mean, it's a little time consuming, drilling these out and sleeving them with pipe. That took a little bit of time, but it's really not really rocket science. You just sort of build a square and then build a frame on top of it. I'm probably going to be redoing this at some point. I really like having this storage here, but I think I want more storage. I have some ideas in my head. We'll see. There may be a major renovation coming with this flatbed, but hopefully this video is helpful, and get out there and build a flatbed if you want it. I love this thing, man. I use this as a work surface practically every day, or to stand on if I need to reach something up high. I'll back right up to things. It's been great. And with the new addition to the winch, it's been even better. So, all right, y'all, have a good one. Bye.